Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, January 16th, and the headlines are more snow showers today, especially across far southwest lower Michigan and over into the eastern portions of lower Michigan, as that low pressure system that brought many areas anywhere between a trace to as much as 3 inches of snow over the last 36 hours will continue to move off to the east. And again, we're going to watch a system for the weekend that could bring some temperatures in the 40s and maybe some moderate to possibly heavy rains. Again, right now I'm calling for about 4 to 7/10 of an inch of rain, maybe with a little bit of mixed precipitation at the onset. But we really got to watch a track of this storm. It's expected to dig into Texas and then move to the northeast. If we were to dig just a little farther southeast before it makes its cut, then we could certainly be looking at a scenario like last week with the heavy snows and ice shifting further south and east. But again, right now, that's not the best bet. The best bet will stay in the warm sector, but it's something we've got a couple, 3 days, I think, before the models really begin to hone in on a track for the storm. But it certainly could be a significant storm. And again, we'll watch that here over the next several days. Out there this morning, you can see where temperatures were clear. We were down to 6 degrees at about 6 o'clock this morning, and about 15 minutes prior to that, we were at 1 above 0 with clear skies, and where there's clouds, you can see temperatures are mainly in the low teens. Coldest areas, again, where there aren't any clouds, southeast lower Michigan, a thumb, and then in Breckenridge again. Most of the clouds and some snow showers are across the I-96, I-94 corridor. Again, there'll be a chance of snow showers across the area here for much of the morning into possibly early this afternoon. And then, of course, southwest lower Michigan with winter weather advisories and winter storm watches for lake effect, as that snow band is expected to move back on shore. Yesterday, we had a high of 19.3. We had a low of 1.3 and 0.05 of an inch of precipitation over the last 24 hours. That was in the form of snow, 1.2 inches of snow. We got 4 inches on the ground. We're up to 20.6 inches of snow, now more than 50% of the normal yearly snowfall so far. You can see on satellite view all the cold air across much of the eastern 2/3 of the U.S. We got a storm developing across the southern plains right now. It's going to move up into the mid-Atlantic states and bring moderate to heavy snows, especially for interior areas of the mid-Atlantic states into southern portions of New England. Here's our big change off to the west. A lot of warm air is eventually going to get into the patterns as we turn more zonal, and that's going to help try to force this cold air out of the way, and that could spell problems as we expect a storm to develop in the southern Rockies, drop down into Texas, and then move off to the northeast. Right now, the track looks like it'll be west of the MAC area. That should allow temperatures to warm into the 40s over the weekend into early next week. But again, any kind of a change to the south, and we could be in business as far as snowfall goes. But right now, I think mainly moderate rain, again, about 4 to 7/10 of an inch of rain. That should melt all of our snow here by the time we get into the early portions of next week. As far as radar this morning, you can see a lot of the bands oriented from northeast to southwest with an easterly component to the lake effect, and that brought a lot of heavy snow across the portions of Wisconsin along the Lake Michigan shoreline. Some reports of over 20 inches of snow. And you can see the low pressure system that was here yesterday moving on to the east with a trough pivoting down, bringing some of that snow across that corridor of I-96 and I-94. And again, those snow showers will continue here off and on throughout the morning at least, but very little in the way of accumulation. You can see on the weather map this morning, the low pressure system will continue to move off to the east. Snow showers over southwest Ontario into the thumb area. Again, traced to maybe as much as some isolated 2 inches amounts across the eastern portions of the area. But overall, it will see conditions improving with more sunshine here for the next several days as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And again, cold conditions will continue, and then this is the storm system that we're going to have to watch. Again, it's expected to drop down into the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles and then make that cut to the northeast. If we look at precipitation over the next 7 days, you can see we're beginning to see a little bit of increase in the models as far as the amount of precipitation across this area. And don't be surprised if we see this increase more later on. Right now, we'll go with the conservative, again, 4/10 to 7/10 for that storm coming up over the weekend into early next week. As far as snowfall over the next 72 hours, again, most of the system snow will be moving off to the east, but some areas could pick up another inch or so across the thumb area, and then the lake effect snow bands will begin to shift back to the northwest to southeast orientation, and that should mean some accumulating snows for the southwestern couple of counties of lower Michigan, northwest Indiana. And again, that storm system moving up across the south could bring areas up towards Columbus as much as a couple of inches of snow, especially heavier amounts off to the south and then into the mid-Atlantic states. As far as the forecast goes, you can see today we're going to have highs in the low 20s. Again, maybe an inch of snow in the eastern areas, and of course the lake effect across southwest lower Michigan. Temperatures will warm slowly into the 30s by the time we get to Friday, above freezing, into the low 40s for Saturday, Sunday, and probably Monday as well before we cool off. And again, right now early indications are about 4 to 7 tenths from that system coming in for very late Saturday night, but mainly for Sunday and Monday as it looks right now. As far as weather watch goes, the big story, a lot of cold air, wind chill advisories and warnings off to our west. We're very cold here, but Lake Michigan gives us some protection. You can see all along the lake shore, lots of advisories and warnings, and then that storm coming up across the Ohio Valley into the mid-Atlantic states. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.